Good evening, Gills fans, and welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV. No press conference this morning from Adi Pennock, so instead we're going to do a little question and answer session. Thank you very much to everyone that tweeted in their questions. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's question and answer session. It does exactly what it says on the tin. So we're going to fire away straight away with the first few. Italian Jill, Harry Beadle and Sam GFC Johnson have all gone along the same lines, asking if AD will stay on as manager of Gillingham Football Club beyond the end of the season, whether he'd stay if we get relegated, and did we sack Justin Edinburgh at the right time, or should he have been given more time to try and turn things around? I will start with that, and that's directed mainly at Sam. I still think Justin Edinburgh was correctly sacked. Performances were not great over Christmas and New Year. We weren't winning football matches. We were dropping down the league quickly, and I think Oxford was the final nail in the coffin. It was an abysmal home performance. We didn't show up. We were rotten from first minute to last, and then to compound that, he then went and spoke about being us overachieving in 17th position. Whether AD is in charge beyond the end of the season, I think very much depends on where we are, League One or League Two. Excuse me. If it's League One and we've had a strong end to the season, I believe that AD will stay on. I think Paul Scally has already mentioned that. If we get relegated, it may be a case of sticking with what we've got because there's no other options. I think budget will drop, and will we be able to attract a big name if we're in the basement division? I can't see it. So that's my thoughts on that. GFC fan asked me, what do I think of J. Emmanuel Thomas? Do I agree he is our only creative player? No, he's not. We have Bradley Dack, we have Scott Wagstaff, we have Elliot List, we have Lee Martin coming back, Cody McDonald. There's plenty, even from left back, Bradley Garmston, when he's fit, can provide an attacking threat. So no, I don't think Jet is our only creative player. We have plenty of others. Regarding my general opinion on him, he's a very good footballer. He has all the ability in the world. He can win a match in an instant. Whether he's quite the right player for us at the moment when we're struggling is another thing. He tends to down tools a little bit too easily if stuff's not going his way, and perhaps there's a case to say that he's a luxury that we can't afford in our current position. But no, he's a very, very good footballer. Sam GFC asked me if I was pleased with January's recruitment. I would say Tomasz Holly is one for the future, judging by the fact that he got 2.5 year deal. I think he'll be someone for next season who may challenge Nelson, or if Nelson's moved on or retires in the next year, 18 months or whatever, then I think it'll be Tomasz Holly and Thomas Hadler battling for the number 1 jersey. There was obviously reports that Hadler had undergone surgery for an unspecified injury, so it makes sense to get in a backup keeper now. Josh Parker I've been very impressed with. Was good in the friendly last week, scored a good goal, linked play well, ran in behind, stretched teams, rescued us against Port Vale, scored a good header. So let's hope he can continue in that vein. I've not seen anything from him so far that would suggest he can't do it at this level. But obviously, again, we've got to have a look at him over a longer period of time, but let's hope he's a success. And regarding the 2 loanees from Bournemouth, Joe Quigley and Harry Cornick, Joe was with us beginning of the season before getting injured, so we know all about him and his qualities. Harry Cornick, not so much. Remember him scoring against us at the Priestfield for Yeovil last season, and generally what I read from Leyton Orient fans about his loan spell there before Christmas, he's decent enough. So fingers crossed we can get them both on the pitch as soon as possible and offering us good performances, assists, goals, and earning us points. Matt Lawrence was next and asked me if it was time to get rid of Cody from the starting 11 yet, as he's not scoring enough, or is hard work alone? My simple answer to that would be, Matt, we keep him in the 11 at the moment, as we seem to have gone to the Diamond on Tuesday. Cody has always been very good playing in a partnership, whether that's been with someone like Adebayo in Fenwa, Dion Burton, Danny Kedwell, more recently John Marquis, so I think it would be unfair to drop him now when we're playing a system that perhaps would favour him more than the lone striker role. Obviously, if he continues to not score and we're playing that, then obviously there's a case for him to be put on the bench. But for now, I would keep him in, especially with Saturday in mind. Simon Day, if the season was to end now, who would be my player of the year? He says that as there's no viable alternative, he's going for Bonds and Gala, who hasn't lost a game with us this season. Tongue in cheek, hopefully, Simon. If we're going down that route, I would go Joe Quigley. Came on against Southend, first day of the season, we won. Started against Southend in the League Cup, I believe, and we won. And came on against Bury in the first home game and we won. So 3 performances, 3 wins, 100% win record, player of the year. More seriously though, I would go for someone like Max Amar, who's probably been one of our most consistent players, one of the mainstays of the team. He's pitched in with a few crucial goals, and I think he's been one of the better footballers. Best of a bad bunch, maybe you could say, but I think he's done all right, to be fair. Marky G wants to know, after Adie's comments immediately in the aftermath of Chesterfield about players lacking leaders and bottle, whether it was correct or not. Does that affect the likes of Stuart Nelson, Cody McDonald, Max Amar, Josh Wright? I would say in terms of Cody and Stuart Nelson, no. I think they've been in the game long enough to know why it was said and what it was trying to achieve. As senior members of the team, match day captain and club captain, I think Josh and Max will put their arm around any of the younger pros if needed and have a chat and explain why it's been said, again, what it's trying to achieve. I think maybe Adie went a little over the top, considering how good the performance was for 99% of the game, and maybe in hindsight he'd look at it and maybe say things a little differently. But he has said it, it's now out there, it's in the players' heads. We go to Coventry on Saturday and we'll find out about this bottle and this leaders and everything else. But I think it was done more out of frustration at dropping points late on and Adie's desperation to win football matches for Gillingham Football Club rather than anything else. Bristol Rovers polls asked me, was the decision correct to let Billy not go out on loan? I still stand by my original answer, and that is yes. He wasn't getting games here. He is getting games at Lincoln City. And the reason he went was probably to free up a wage for us to bring in a centre-half, which we did. Unfortunately, Bonzingala cannot play for us due to a FIFA regulation stating that he's played for too many professional teams before us. He's now at Dover. So I will stick by that decision, but unfortunately the whole episode smacks of farce. Dino McBino has asked me who is to blame for the season's struggles. I would say everyone has to take a bit of blame, Dean. From top to bottom, chairman, directors, coaching, management, players, you name it. Fans, maybe there's a case. I know it's easy for us to get on players' backs and boo them and shout at them and barrack them on social media when they're not playing well. And there's a case for us that they like to retweet stuff on social media when we tell them how well they're playing, and then they get a bit defensive and a little bit precious when we slag them off or whatever they want to call it, or criticise or make observations, state facts even. But collectively, I think everyone has to be apportioned with some of the blame. It's not been good, and let's hope that we've got enough about us technically, mentally, to stay out of trouble and then rebuild in the summer. And Lewis Browning asked me regarding all the players in the squad come the end of the season, who would I release, who would I keep? Lewis, I cannot answer that now, mate. I don't know what division we will be in. I don't know whether we'll be in League 1 or 2. I don't know whether we'll be still having Adi Pennock in charge. So I think that's a question that could be answered a lot better come the last game of the season. Fingers crossed we're still in League 1, and then we can go from there.